originates from a Marxist point of view, but he'll be able to critique Marxism as a non-Marxist and put postmodernism and modernism.
What's your views on Marx, Karl Marx? Do you believe what he was trying to set out? Do you believe
it was supposed to be a warning, and people interpret it as an economic system? I mean, basically, if Marxists actually wrote down what they want to achieve, and they were to find and they were to, if they were to apply the methods that are suggested, they would find that it doesn't work, and the only way to achieve the outcomes they want to achieve is using capitalism.
Right.
And if you look at the provenance of what Marxism has actually achieved, it's catastrophic. It's destroyed, far more people than was destroyed by the Second World War in what century. And everything that it wanted to achieve is far better achieved by capitalism.
That is debatable, though, isn't it? Because
all drugs should be taxed.
It's debatable in a sense when you say that there was more damage that happened than what happened in the Second World War. But that wasn't because of Karl Marx or his ideologies, was it?
It sounded like a pantomime. Oh yes, it was.
It achieved a reversal. It was reversed, but it achieved.
Right. If you want to bring entire continents out of poverty in an incredibly compressed time frame, raise the quality of life, standard of living, education, health, infrastructure, social development, all of those, you don't do it using socialism because you end up with killing fields. You do it using capitalism because it works. I mean, the Chinese bought, they're bringing about 3 million people a year out of poverty to the middle class.
Obviously, because they're in the mess.
There are other, because of the globalist system, there are other areas that have generated value and haven't been able to realize that value.
Yeah.
But it seems as though people agreed that bringing China out of extreme poverty was a good idea.
Well, all it is, China is shipping their people all over the world, like places like Africa, the Caribbean, building up businesses.
I'll tell you what, in the case of Africa, there seems to have been recently quite a lot of the demands for reparations. You notice people only make demands for reparations from people who are nice. Nobody ever tries to demand reparations from anybody who's a bastard.
So once
the Chinese have actually had to go with their fairly unreconstructed imperialism, it will be interesting whether there's any nostalgia for the previous kind of imperialism, because at least, if somebody is demanding that you make social progress and educate your population and implement democracy and financial probity in return for them coming in and putting money into the system. And then the Chinese come in and they say, we don't want, we're not concerned with anything about that. We're just going to come in here, have hundreds of thousands of Chinese engineers, extract the raw materials, which we send back to China, and not pay you. I think at a certain point there may be a little bit of nostalgia for the previous system, because at least people were trying to bring in social goods on the back of the capitalism that was. The thing is, when you have a need for a local workforce, you can't have people going and dying on you because it's inconvenient. So you bring in public health and hospitals, and suddenly the child mortality rate drops through the floor. And people start having a greater life expectancy, and they start having prosperity because there is employment, and you start having social development, courts, and rule of law, and what have you. People able to own their own property, and so it's Of course, in an early 19th century sense, capitalism was still in its its nappies. But like a mature capitalism comes on, it actually brings a whole bunch of other. It says, look, we can't organize and manage the extraction of resources here without a little bit of infrastructure. So we're going to put in not just roads and that sort of infrastructure, but the rule of law as infrastructure, so that when you get paid, you manage to keep it. Somebody doesn't come along with a club, whip you across the back of the head and steal you. So when for capitalism to function, it brings a whole bunch of social infrastructure with it, which makes things nicer. And in a way that the Chinese, when they come along, they don't bring along any infrastructure. They build a road to the coast, go down, start extracting all the raw material, and then Chinese workers, the British came along. We needed local accountants and lawyers and managers and engineers and what have you. And so, because there weren't enough from home, and also you get introduced into the international system and how to make an alliance with somebody else in a different part of the world that needs what you've got and you need what they've got, and you can do swaps. And you meet other people from different parts of the world, and you plug into the international system. Even in the process of being exploited, exploitation isn't oppression. You don't learn nothing. In the act of somebody exploiting the resources and exploiting the people learn to network with people elsewhere. And when they get to be in charge, it's like the Zoroastrians are nowhere because they were never part of the British Empire. But the Indians, they have a railway system, an army, a civil service, education, all the way across. And they understand how to play the game of international stuff. So, yes, in the process of them learning, there were an awful lot of resources that got put into the British Empire. And the only thing that was more expensive to the British Empire than militarizing the border was not militarizing the border. Because if you don't have exclusivity to it, I mean, since the 1860s, the British Empire was actually losing sort of revenue negative. And they were desperate to try and hand it off, because if you can't exclude other people and have exclusive dibs on all the raw materials, it's not worth doing it. So when the Americans came along in the Second World War and they said, right, you'll bring down your imperial preference and allow us access to your markets, there was a big strategic reorientation where the British said, okay, then we're going to give away the British Empire. Give it back. Have it back. Gandhi, you want India? Great. Knock yourself out. Malaya, the amount of cost it takes to bring these infrastructures up to a level where we can trade productively with them is eye-wateringly expensive. And while we still had exclusivity, that's one thing. When you don't have exclusivity, we were, introducing things like not just railways, but a legal system based on English law, and trying to introduce individualism, which unfortunately didn't seem to take. But if I go to India, there are people who will come up to me and say, usually half joking, thank you for the railways. Which at the time was the best technology anyway, and it's still incredibly, it's the backbone and a distribution network for the entire country. And I'm pleased they enjoyed it. And they're now beginning to become a substantial. I mean, they're as large as the whole of the European Union in terms of population. And they're beginning to, as I was talking to my friend there about, they're, after 70 years of running their own stuff, they're beginning to get rid of corruption and what have you, and become, worth the sort of the sort of country that we would love to trade with.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's happening in it's going to happen in Africa. It's actually happening right now. But the reality is
the exploitation by the Chinese.
No. You see, the thing is, the corruption in Africa now. I mean, the Chinese not just coming in there and just taking what they want. Yeah, someone's getting paid, and normally it's the corrupt politicians that's being paid. Yeah, but a lot of them are being rooted out and found out. And you see, one of the I would say the savior of the 21st century is social media, the internet. So the world that we used to live in before, wow, shake my hand. But the thing is, that's a double-edged sword, because the blockchain, it was created, yeah, right, by Noko, whatever his name is, yeah. Well, yeah. But the fact is I believe it was created by the powers that be, yeah. But where so many other people are creating other blockchains and other coins now, right, which holds equally or even more value than the likes of Ethereum,
There's
maybe
so much inspiration
Bitcoin
that went into the business model of Bitcoin and the blockchain,
yeah,
that would turn around, because it's a double-edged sword for the powers that be. They would either engineer in a logical backdoor or implement something that lent itself and had a bias in favor of the powers that be.
Well, they were looking at Ripple, weren't they?
And Bitcoin tends to, because there's so much inspiration that would have gone into the business model, and there's no hub, there's no center. Everything is a
decentralized,
an edge, a network edge service that you can use if you want to, but there's no central hub. There's no, everything is on the same layer of knowledge. It lends itself to not be used by an organization that's used to sitting in the center like a spider. It's distributed.
Yeah.
Like the paradigm is very...
You're your own ledger, isn't it? So you're your own bank.
You're your own conflict resolution.
The thing is this. The thing is this though.
Anything you like.
If you've got any type of cryptocurrencies, yeah, I can trace every single coin that you bought from the day you bought it. You could put it into private. I mean, cold wallets, hot wallets, whatever, paper wallets. I can trace that, yeah, because it's all traceable. So when I say to you, apart from what they call,
which is why it lends itself to being it's very, very disruptive, and the implications haven't even begun to come out yet. It'll be another decade before all of the services that are currently available in the analog economy are fully implemented. Now, at that point, it's one of those Buckminster Fuller things where you don't fight an existing institution.
Yeah.
You produce something better and let the old one with it.
Yeah. So, all right. Do you mind just holding this? Because I'm gonna. This is a subject that I know a lot about, right? So, you all right? Just holding it for a look. You want to put it around your shoulder?
I mean, arguably, somewhere like the Palestinian refugee camps shouldn't exist, because if you have an internet connection, in 6 months there could be people digging themselves out of that hole and becoming economically active because they're their own bank. And anything that is that disruptive, that we started getting, getting products and commodities. And you don't care who gets the commodities there, you just have commodities. So it lends itself to the sort of network economy of and in the same way that social media is incredibly disruptive of legacy, the blockchain has not just financial services, although that is important, but any resource plugging yourself into the resource market. You want a block of ice 100 meters on the side here, if I paid somebody the cost of it, they could have one. So I don't, as a paradigm, I mean, whatever the implementation would be, I think the paradigm of Bitcoin is unlikely to have been influenced by the powers that be. If you think about it. Because they would have implemented something where there was a logical. I mean, if you
untraceable.
If you give a problem
It's not. No, it's not. It's very traceable.
If you give a problem to a systems analyst and you give them all of the spec, then they're going to come up with a solution that ticks all the boxes. And if whoever was coming up with the spec for Bitcoin even tied in a business model which allows you to have the processing power for free to do all the cryptography and creating the blockchain. So, the fact that these people are, when they're mining for Bitcoin, they're actually providing all of the processing power necessary to implement the system. So it doesn't cost any. The reason you're going to have transactions in the pennies is because there are people who are mining Bitcoin, and the work that they're doing to mine it is actually the work to encrypt the next step of the blockchain, the next 10-minute segment of the blockchain.
I mean, well, the thing is this.
So as the processing becomes increasingly onerous.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to actually mine Bitcoin at the moment because the actual.
That's because the network is producing more work.
Yeah. Well, it's not only the work. It's not only the nodes. It's the
processing power to
calculate.
And so as there is an increasing load on the system in terms of transactions, it is fortunate then that you can take those the load of work, the processing power required to do those transactions, and pass it off seamlessly to the people mining, and they will do the work for you.
Yeah, because you've got more nodes on the network. That's all it is. Yeah. I mean,
and the insight, the inspiration necessary to do that. I mean, it's fucking genius. It's like with the Romans. They would lay a road and they would plant olive trees along either side, partly so that their armies could march in the shade, partly because when you retired from the army, you could go and buy a contract to maintain a 2-mile section of road, and in doing so, you also got the right to farm the olive trees, which would pay for the cost of paving the road.
right.
So they built in the business model at a very basic level into the road, so that you could have a retired soldier who would take his retirement pay and buy a contract and be able to not only support himself but maintain the road for free. Now it's that sort of inspiration in terms of business models that's built in on a number of layers into the blockchain.
How do you feel about taxes and the blockchain?
Taxes or taxes?
Taxes and cryptocurrencies. What's your views on that?
Interesting. Okay. I mean, you mean income taxes, corporation taxes?
The whole lot.
Sale taxes?
All of it.
It becomes a little. I mean, if you have a jurisdiction, physical jurisdiction, and you create the taxes, then you start seeing things like taxes as friction, cost of doing business. And somebody can, if they are obeying all of the law, then they will owe. If you take Bitcoin and transfer it into, calculate
into fiat currency.
Then the thing is, Bitcoin, because the growth curve is very specific and predictable and programmed, and the increase in the money supply is then Bitcoin will always become more the price of Bitcoin will always rise against any and all cryptocurrencies. Now, if the cost of doing business in any jurisdiction is to pay the amount of tax to the local thug, then if you buy somebody's delivery of you say, right, I'll take 2 Aston Martins here. It's not in exactly the same way as you don't really care how they got there, you just care that they get there, and you pay the person who delivers them. That person, if the transaction takes place in the transaction isn't jurisdictional, but the delivery is in a jurisdiction. It becomes a question of where the server is that the jurisdiction the transactions took place on, or where the goods came from, went to. All of these things have become very complex. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have tax, because people debates and roads and stuff like that. It becomes a great deal more complex.
You right? Yeah, heavy bit.
It becomes a great deal more complex about exactly how much tax should go to whom.
Yeah.
And that is the purview of somebody who studies and implements tax, not me. You would have to pay tax if you're paying somebody a salary. You have to pay.
Do you know why taxes were created?
Well, income tax was in the Napoleonic War. Sales tax was World War I.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.